Hello Scorpio, welcome to this reading. We're going to be taking a look at the career and financial energy for the sign of Scorpio for the month of September. Now do keep in mind that this is a general reading, so take the messages as they resonate, drop the ones that do not, and also check out your sun, moon, and rising signs. Let's go and get a proper shuffle in here for you, Scorpio. Now I am using the Gilded Tarot, the Ethereal Visions Tarot, as well as the Kipper Oracle deck. There are links to all of these decks in the description below if you'd like to pick them up for yourself. All right, let's go ahead and get all the cards out here, see what we have going on for you, and then we'll get right into it. Do hope you're doing well. I hope things are going good for you, Scorpio. All right, so let's go ahead and move that up. All right. We'll take 3 of these Kipper cards to clarify as we go along. Energy on the bottom, you have the sun. So, love to see this for you. For me, the sun is the best card to find in a reading. It is the most positive omen in the tarot. You can think of it this way. I mean, take a look here, right? All of the planets revolve around the sun. And so the sun has a large center of gravity. And this gravity feels like happiness. It feels like there is a powerful wave of happiness that comes forward for you when you get the sun's card. It's about joy, abundance, success, victory. It is also a card of self-expression and living your life to the fullest. You could also say that the sun is considered to be a card of truth. And so anything that is untrue or anything that is not right will be exposed by the ray of the sun. And so it is a card of truth as well. You know, I got this message here where some of you, I think, are walking on a true path or walking on your true path. I don't know if that means something to somebody or if that resonates with you, but some of you are walking towards the sun, okay? Some of you are walking on your true path here at this time. And this is a career reading, but it feels like there's something spiritual about what you're doing or where you're going or kind of the path that you're walking at this time. Feels kind of spiritual in nature. There's kind of like an open seas type of energy to this reading. That I'm feeling for you. So we'll talk about that more as we go along. Bigger concepts, like big picture thinking type of energy is what I'm feeling here. But in the overall situation, you do have this 3 of Wands, and they are literally thinking, they're looking out and they're like, wow, I have the entire ocean in front of me. I can go so many places. I can see so many people, see so many things. And this is kind of this energy of excitement. It's this idea of getting fired up. It's this energy of going to new places, seeing new people, doing new things. And this is a card of travel along with that. However, this can also just bring about general growth and expansion in one's life. It can say that maybe you're interested in taking something to the next level. And as we were talking about career here, this can talk about a victory in taking something to the next level in your career, Scorpio. So it's definitely something that you love to see. It's an exciting card, especially when you get it paired with something like the sun. And so I think that there's like a lot of expansion here showing up for you in your career life. And I think that there's also this idea of like wide open seas or vast canvases for you to sort of draw on or paint on or sort of explore at this time. Now, in the past, you have the 4 of Swords, you have the 7 of Swords, and you also have the Queen of Cups here. And so the 4 of Swords can talk about rest and recovery from a situation that may be like from separation, rest and recovery from separation. The 3 of Swords represents heartbreak or separation in one's life. Now, since this is career, this might have been this might have been related to a colleague here that did not have the best intentions. The 7 of Swords can indicate somebody who's deceptive. This can talk about somebody who maybe just simply does not have the best intentions about them. And so I almost feel like maybe some of you here have, had to deal with somebody who maybe had that energy about them. I think some of you have had to like deal with maybe a less than great career or work situation. But along with that, you've been successfully taking the steps here to heal from that situation with the Four of Swords and the Seven of Swords showing up. And so it's definitely a positive type of energy that I see here, despite the challenge of the Seven of Swords. And I do have to say, I see the Seven of Swords come in oftentimes when there's workplace gossip. Now, especially when it's paired with a 3 card, which is next to it. However, this is showing up in the past. And so I'm not forecasting workplace gossip. I'm not saying that this is going to happen for you. I'm not saying that this is going to happen for you in the future here, but I do see it showing up in the past. It is possible as well, if that's just simply not resonating. Well, let me just close out that kind of timeline that I'm feeling here. It's even more supported because there's a person card below it. And so the Queen of Cups is somebody who can be in their detriment. They can be somebody who gossips, but in the purest, most positive form of the Queen of Cups, this can be somebody who is typically like a trusted friend or ally. That's why I feel like there's been some deception here that maybe happened for some of you in the past, as you have the Four of Swords and the Queen of Cups and the Seven of Swords that you've had to really heal from. Now, on a different level, what could be going on here is some of you have been taking time out from the world to build a strategy or put a game plan in place to kind of take an alternative approach to a problem, take the backdoor exit, if you will. I think that's the more positive timeline that I think some of you as well could be on here. The Queen of Cups can talk about maybe trusting your gut, and the Four of Swords can talk about like, reflection, recovery. Seven of Swords in the more positive way can be about game planning. In the current situation, you do have the Eight of Cups, you have the Three of Wands, and you also have the Nine of Wands. So what I see here is that some of you, whatever happened in the past year, this has kind of blown open your spiritual doors. And what I mean by that is you've maybe had to be knocked down to get back up. Or you've had to be knocked down so that you could then get back up and kind of experience what it feels like to go through that. I almost feel like there's been a challenging event here in the past that has resulted in you taking a more spiritual, sort of long-term, kind of longer view approach to something, like this idea of open seas or open canvas, like where you have sort of just kind of taking a step back and ask yourself what is really important, Scorpio, to you in this moment. There's another interesting thing here that's showing up that I realized in the cards, which is you have 6, 7, 8, 9. 6, 7, 8, 9. So they're not in the same suit and they're not sort of with each other, but they are here on the reading. And so for me, when that happens, there's something in your life that you are making progress towards. Okay, you're making a progression on something here in your life. And I think that there's this newfound understanding. And I think some of you are really connecting to the truth. I think you're connecting to your personal truth, what is important for you, what makes you, you, and not necessarily being concerned about other people, despite maybe having to deal with something challenging here in the past as it relates to your career. The Nine of Wands can suggest annoyance, somebody who's annoying you. It is next to this Queen of Cups. I normally get really good vibes from the Queen of Cups, but in this reading, I'm getting bad vibes or off energy from this Queen of Cups. I do think that there's somebody that you've had to maybe even set a boundary with, or somebody who's just quite literally annoyed you or frustrated you. I get the sense that this is something that's coming in this reading. This has already happened between you and this person, but it's sort of like, it's possible that some of you are now in this month setting a boundary with this person. This could talk about, this could see you setting a boundary and then walking away. The Eight of Cups is a card of leaving the past behind you, leaving the toxic situations, people, event, places behind you, and instead walking towards the events that are sort of more in alignment with your wishes, your dreams, your goals, your visions, all of that type of energy. I do think that is aligning here and showing up for you, with this in the middle here for some of you in the current situation. And so it's exciting because you're like, wow, I have all of these wide open spaces. I have all of these, I have the entire ocean in front of me. I'm getting excited about what could be. But on the other hand, you are kind of doing the hard work of setting boundaries and separating yourself from people who no longer support you. In the future, you have the Two of Pentacles, you have the Ace of Swords, and you have the Six of Swords here. So again, the Six of Swords, this is a card that can indicate feeling guided in your life. Like this person kind of is getting in their boat here, and they're kind of just allowing the universe to kind of help guide them sail towards a new place, towards a new destination. You know, the Six of Swords is this idea of maybe going through a transition here in your career life in the future. So I definitely would not be surprised to see some sort of transition or like change in direction for you here in the future. I think that this is about you taking that first step with the Eight of Cups though, after you recognizing that there's like a whole lot, there's a lot more out there than maybe you initially kind of were looking at, or that maybe you initially considered. With the Three of Wands and the Eight of Cups, I think some of you are kind of gearing up here for a transition or gearing up for something new. You have this Two of Pentacles, which, you know, you're weighing your option, right? You're weighing your option, you're weighing your path, you're weighing your decision, you're weighing, you know, all of the opportunities, you're kind of seeing everything here. And, you know, this Two of Cups can also talk about a change in your financial situation. By default, it's a very good change. I would say that there are no negative cards around it. And so by default, I would say that this is probably a more positive change, but you know, situations vary. Along with that, you have this Ace of Swords, which I really like to see because this is breakthrough energy. Okay, this is the feeling of the cloud sort of clearing in the background, making way for something new. This is a breath of fresh air. This is excitement. This is a really nice energy to find. And it also brings about a new beginning in one's life. It can also bring clear communication into one's life as well. So you definitely love to see it. It's a big card of victory, success. And I would definitely say the Three of Wands is a smaller win. The Ace of Swords is a victory. The Sun is a victory, you know, and then we have these elements here of you transitioning, walking away, going to new places, kind of zooming out and realizing how many options there are. So this is exciting, it feels like, for you. Let's go and take a look at these three Kipper cards here. Okay, so you have wealthy man, occupation, and main male. Now, I do not attach gender to my cards. I just read the energies, and so do keep that in mind. These cards could be showing up as people in your life, or they could be qualities of yourself. The wealthy man, this person is at the end of a successful trading day, and so it's associated with positive investments being made or that have been made in your life. The occupation card is as it refers to your occupation. I think that this is, you know, I think that there are people showing up here in your work life that you are either moving away from or moving towards with the wealthy man and the main male. And I think that ultimately this idea of you kind of shifting your aim of focus, shifting your direction, I think that this is ultimately bringing positive benefits into your life. Let's go ahead and start to clarify. If you're enjoying this video so far, please do hit that like button and subscribe, as it really does help my channel grow in a big way. So you have Four of Cups, Ten of Pentacles, the World. You have the Ten of Swords, Ace of Cups, and the Artist. So the Artist is an oracle card in this deck, and I laugh because I talked about like open canvas, like you have a big canvas to paint. Well, there you go, right? The artist talks about kind of connecting with your creativity, connecting with the energy that is around you, and getting inspiration from the universe, from nature, but, you know, really connecting to your creativity and building something for yourself here, which feels very exciting because you also have it paired with the World. I get the sense that some of you, like, I don't know how long this will be. This is showing up in the future, but with the World, the Artist, and the other cards here in your future column, it's like some of you are going to kind of come back and be like, wow. Some of you are going to look back on this period of time and say, like, I'm really glad about the decisions I made. I get the sense that that's this type of energy. There is some type of completion here for sure happening with the Ten of Swords, the Ten of Pentacles, and the World. There's no question about it. You are closing out a cycle, I think, with a person or a connection with a person. Here, this is probably a net benefit or a net positive for you. And there's also this big energy of reflection and contemplation here, as you see with the Four of Cups, but also the Four of Swords. And this idea of maybe like building, like making a battle plan for yourself. The Ace of Cups is a new beginning, so you have two aces in your life here. And so, yeah, closing out cycles, closing out chapters with people, getting new beginnings, and kind of this idea of being guided, sailing forward, and kind of taking a look at your career situation from a kind of a bigger perspective. You're seeing the bigger picture here in this month, and it feels very, very exciting for you. So thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button, subscribe. Really appreciate you, and I will see you in the next reading.